pray, I would assume that you're trying to make contact with something. And what is it you're trying to make contact with? Who is it that you're trying? You're trying to make contact with an otherworldly being. You're trying to make contact with an extraterrestrial. The point is, you know what? It's such an amazing thing. It's an absolute culture shock if you change the words of anything. If I say you're going to pray to God, that's okay. It's, you know, your children like that, all the politicians like that. Everybody says it's wonderful. But if you, on the other hand, say you're going to contact E.T., then it becomes, whoa, you know, stop, you know, get out of here. But that's actually what this is all about. If there is such a thing as this, and we know what this is because it's let man make men in our image, then there would be contacting extraterrestrial. But the point here that I'm making to you is that it's a subject for discussion, and all things should be open to discussion. And as I have also told you in the previous weeks, that I never have and never will comment on anything concerning E.T. or extraterrestrials or UFOs other than as they're given to you in the Bible. So here's the Bible. And the Bible has told us over the last couple of weeks about spaceships that land on the earth, of people in white suits getting out of them, walking between the wheels and looking at the scorched earth, and then taking off with fire and roar coming out of this thing. Talks about one time of a guy named Elijah, who had a pre-arranged time when he would be picked up and then disappeared up into the sky as this friend of his stood there watching until this thing went out of sight. So we've seen all of these things. And so then last week we went to the ultimate and we talked to you about making contact. Because you've been praying all of your life, and for the most part, people don't really know if their prayers are answered or not. If you pray and things go good, you say your prayer was answered. If you pray and things don't go good, you don't mention it, you know. And so this is basically where we're at, so nobody really knows. So if we get rid of this word pray or prayer, and we start then moving to the word contact, and we talk about, you know, I know it's difficult, but if you talk about extraterrestrials, those in an intelligent civilization that lives beyond the realm of our knowledge on this earth, and who have been trying to make contact with us, and we're going to make contact with them. So we eliminate the word God, we're replacing it with extraterrestrial. And you say, well, that's terrible. Well, it's not terrible, because who made up the word God? There is no such word as God. The word God is simply a play on the word good. That's all it is. And the word devil is simply evil with a D added onto it. So it's just a question of good versus evil. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with personality. So somebody in the English language took the word good, made up the word God, and it became a holy thing, see. But in the Bible, it doesn't talk about a God. It says, let us make man in our image, like us, see. So who is the creator? Who is making this creation? So we're abandoning religion, which is, you know, the most wonderful thing that I could ever conceive you could do for yourself and for your children, is abandon religion and attempt at contact scientifically. Attempt at contact with the universe, with nature, with life, you know. Sometimes I think where our problem comes from is in the basic part of our religious training where, you know, Christianity, Judaism began. It said that the earth was the center of the universe, and that the sun and all the planets whirled around the earth. And then we found out, well, these people know what the heck they're talking about. But that's not true. The way I describe what the earth is, and as far as the universe is concerned, is sometimes when you go out today or tomorrow, whenever, go on your back porch or someplace, and look at a small speck of dust or a piece of sand over in the corner by the baseboard, you know, with the two, and say, that's the earth. And then look at your refrigerator and your house and your cars and everything, and the rest of the world is here. But this insignificant little piece of dust is the earth. That's all you live on. You live on an insignificant little piece of dust. Nothing whirls around it. And basically what you have, or what you call extraterrestrials or God or angels, whatever you want to call it, are simply beings of an intelligence 6,000 years ahead of you who stop by these different places to see how you're doing. And I can tell you that the last report about what's going on here is not positive. These people are screwed up big time. Okay. So anyhow, we get to this point where we've created all of these parables and so forth, and let me just give you let me just show you something. God, you know, remember when we showed you in the book of Exodus? I was talking with this to Albert last night. Let me give you an idea where I'm coming from, and we can go from there. And remember, this is just to open discussion. It is to make you think. And once you start thinking, you'll start finding. And once you start finding, you'll start making contact. And I will give you something today that, you know, will get you through the front door. But let's talk about that later. Here you have a situation where you have the Ark of the Covenant. All right. Now, the Ark of the Covenant was given to Moses. It had to be placed in the Holy of Holies of the tabernacle. Okay, that's where. But what did we find out from our studies of Exodus? We found out that the tabernacle is actually the human brain. But we not only found that out, we documented it medically. Remember, everything that you have gotten here, everything that I've told you here, we've documented scientifically. I didn't tell you anything to say, well, you should believe this, or maybe you should think of this. I have given you documentation. I've given you scientific evidence. What did we find? We found in the tabernacle that there is an outer court, there is a curtain to separate it, and there is a Holy of Holies. And that's the way it was made. But then we found in the human brain there is an outer court called dura mater, which is hard mother. There is a curtain called arachnoid, which is the web. And there is an inner holy place called pia mater, which is tender mother. Now this is in your brain. It doesn't make any difference whether you believe it or not. You have one. You've got a dura mater, you've got an arachnoid, and you've got a pia mater in your brain. And that's the tabernacle. Now the interesting thing about this is that then you find out that the Ark of the Covenant has to be placed in the tabernacle. And remember they said the tabernacle was a pattern of something else, and we find out what that pattern is. So the Ark of the Covenant. Now, in looking at this, I said to Albert yesterday, you know, there can't be an Ark of the Covenant in your brain. But I'll tell you what there can be. There can be an arc. And an arc is an electrical impulse between 2 points. So what is the arc of the covenant? And everything in your brain is electricity. Little electrical signals. And so then when you start to understand these things, you start to open up a whole idea. I mean, this thing this becomes scientific psychology, and you get all excited because now look what you found out. Wow. What is an angel? An angel is actually an angle. And what is an archangel? What is an archangel? It is an angle of light and electrical energy that impacts the brain. Okay? So now this is where and why I come and I go around, and whenever they ask me, they don't ask me to go to speak to many places, as you can imagine, but when they do, and we go around, we start to talk about this stuff. You know, it makes sense. Like, you know, get nuclear fission. You're going to take a rib out of atom. You're going to take an electron out of an atom, and then you're going to say wow, I know how all life began by the splitting of the atom. What? It makes sense, doesn't it? And all of the things that we've shown you, we've documented scientifically. So then you think about this. You know, you start through your meditation. It leads you into these types of things, and you look. What is an archangel? What is an ark of the covenant? And then you even find Noah's ark, and you realize what it is: a place of rest, generated by this electromagnetic fields that come down from Orion and all of these places. So you find out that these things are real, they're scientific. So now we talk about making contact. We're not talking about making prayer anymore because we don't care about that. We're not I mean, you certainly want somebody to tell you go pray about it. Forget that stuff. You want to make a contact. You want to be part of this because the world, this earth, has not been treated properly. The children have been abused. The women have been degraded. The animals have been brutalized. The very earth itself, we have dropped bombs on one another. And the biggest culprit in the midst of all of this violence and degradation is religion. And so we don't want to be part. So now I don't want to have any more faith. I don't want to have any more religion. I want to make contact. I want to be part. I want to be part of the change. I want to be part of the revolution. I want to be part of this Aquarian thing where the very essence of what we call God or good is moving upon the earth to change things. How do I become a part? How do I make contact? See, most of the time that you don't make contact is because you don't know how to use the equipment that you own. You have the equipment. You have the computer. But you don't know how to use it. See? And the reason that you don't know how to use the equipment that you own is because all of your life you've gone to churches and been associated with religions who told you, don't touch the equipment. Don't touch it. Touch it. You'll go blind. You heard that? I mean, you just don't touch it. Basically, it's the same thing. Don't touch it. Things will happen. And then they create all of these things for you to learn. Demons. You're going to get demons are going to come. You know, they make up all of this stuff to scare the hell out of you. Because the reason, if you touch this, suddenly you're going to know, I have got Windows 95 Plus right between my ears, and I can communicate with you. Wow! It's all been put there. For me, by somebody called whatever, God, whoever you want to place this, and you hang out with a bunch of characters that don't touch it. And that's what you do.